Welcome to the Worldwise Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole, and this podcast is your guide to building a truly borderless life. From entrepreneurship, investment migration, tax optimization, and everything in between, this show highlights the nuances of a global citizen lifestyle. Let's dive in. Many of our clients who obtain Paraguay residency and optimize their taxes through a territorial tax system also need banking options. Now, we've discussed in previous videos that Paraguay is not going to be the best country if you're really needing a holistic solution and planning to leave your country full-time permanently, or at least for multiple decades. You really do need banking, investment, and even crypto solutions. However, today we are going to talk about some bank accounts that you can open once you obtain Paraguay residency. I have discussed extensively on this channel in various other Paraguay-based videos how difficult it can be to open a true bank account in Paraguay. However, you most certainly have options when you're obtaining residency in Paraguay to get banking. Now, most of the time, this is going to be fairly straightforward banking. So we'll start with the basics of banking in Paraguay, which every resident can open once you obtain your cedula. You do not even need your RUC for this. You simply only need your cedula, and that is the basic bank accounts. Now, at almost every bank in the country, there is a basic bank account, again, that you can only open with your cedula. Now, I have personally experienced many of these bank accounts being opened abroad. However, there have been a few of these accounts where I've only been able to open the basic bank account when I'm physically in Paraguay, as I am right now. So depending on the bank, if it won't let you open an account, you may physically need to be in Paraguay, not at the branch. You cannot open these basic bank accounts at a branch, but you will physically need to be located in Paraguay. Your phone will need to have an IP address of being in Paraguay to open up some of these accounts. So as every resident has access to a basic standard bank account in Paraguay, what is it and what are the benefits of this account? Now, a basic bank account will give you around $1,000 per month in movement in the account. It's slightly more than $1,000 a month. It currently stands at around 3 of the local minimum wages. You're able to have 3 of those minimum wage amounts in your bank account per month, so just over $1,000 per month currently. This may always change in the future, but that is as it stands currently and as it has stood for quite some time in the past. Now, what is important to note here is that yes, you can only have the around $1,000 per month in the account, around 8 million guaranis in local currency in that account. However, that is the total monthly movement that you can have in the account. So if your account balance starts at 2 million guaranis in the beginning of the month, then you have already used your capacity for 2 of those 8 million guaranis. So this is a very standard bank account. It's not going to be something that you're going to transfer your life savings or your investments, of course, into. And it is important to know that these are basic accounts, so they only hold local currencies, the guarani. They do not hold US dollars, euros, or any other type of currency. Now, again, these are basic accounts, so they can be opened by almost anyone, mostly anywhere except for a few banks. However, if you are looking to get a USD or a Euro account, then you are really going to need movement in Paraguay. So you're going to need around 6 months of EVA. Most banks will ask 6 months of EVA filing. They're going to want to see income. They're going to want to see expenses. So they really want to see that you are active in Paraguay, that you have money coming into Paraguay, and that you also have expenses and that you are truly living in Paraguay. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Paraguay is a somewhat standard and somewhat safe banking hub. If you're looking to store small amounts of funds, use them when you visit Paraguay, but you're not going to be transferring your entire life savings or investments from your home country into a country like Paraguay, even if you have residency. So we do have other videos on this channel, and we typically recommend other territorial tax systems with much more reliable banking. If you are really looking to set up a holistic picture of obtaining additional residency, citizenships, tax optimization, banking, Paraguay is a great place to start, but likely not going to be your end point if you're leaving your high taxing Western country. So now we go on to the question of, if you are looking to open a basic bank account with your cedula in Paraguay, which banks should you open? Now, you can actually go ahead and open all virtually from your phone. You can open basic bank accounts. Now, I have personally experienced that Banco Familiar, which is one of the more popular banks of the middle class in Paraguay, they will close your account if it is not active for around 3 to 6 months. So I recommend any accounts that you have open in Paraguay, whether it be 1, 2, or 6 or 7 of these basic accounts, which you absolutely can create. I highly recommend to have some funds in these accounts and have some sort of movement at minimum every few months. BNF is the national bank of Paraguay, and all of the government workers get paid into this bank. So while their customer service and their lines are somewhat long and customer service can be somewhat lacking, as you'll hear from many of the locals, BNF is the national bank in Paraguay. However, this is not a basic account that you can open online. So if you are looking to have a basic account and it is the same limits as all other bank standard accounts, you will need to be present in the branch to open those accounts. There is paperwork, there is documentation that you need to complete when you are opening a BNF bank account, a basic bank account. All of the other banks in the country, as of right now, you can simply open those basic bank accounts online. So BNF, while it is a beneficial bank to have, it is the country's national bank, it will be somewhat more difficult for you to go open. You will have to wait in line, fill out the paperwork, and then you will have access to your bank account. Now, a nice perk is that all of these banks have apps. I will say there are quite a few of these banks where the apps are very glitchy. A lot of the time you'll have to call customer service or reach out to them on WhatsApp. All of these banks have a WhatsApp channel that are fairly responsive, I will say. You may have to reach out to them in Spanish in order to help in the process because some of these apps are quite glitchy. Another nice benefit that I have previously shared a few months ago when it came live in Paraguay is that Apple Pay is now available in Paraguay. Now, if you have a foreign card and you have Apple Pay with that foreign card, let's say a Wise or Mercury card, then you have always had access to use this card via Apple Pay in Paraguay. Most, if not all, of the vendors, not street vendors, but otherwise most vendors, supermarkets, shops, stores here in Paraguay, they will accept card with tap. Therefore, you can use Apple Pay with a foreign card. However, as of a few months back, some of the banks now have Apple Pay. So currently those banks are Itaú, Continental, and Bueno, which are 3 of the larger banks here in Paraguay. So these banks, even with the basic account, they all do have Apple Pay. Now, Continental, you don't necessarily automatically get a card with your bank account, but with Bueno, with Itaú, and with various other basic bank accounts, you do get a card. So the banks that do now have Apple Pay, then you have access to Apple Pay. And yes, Google Pay has been available for much longer in Paraguay than Apple Pay has been. If you have any questions regarding a tax diversification strategy, or how you can get your residence started today, reach out to us or book a consult below to get your tax optimization strategy underway. You've just listened to the Worldwise Wealth podcast. Visit our links in the show notes below or at worldwisecapital.com to learn more about how we can assist in your borderless diversification journey. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode.